All right, this is going to be a rather very controversial video. The reason being is, being an Indian passport holder, me, Indian passport holder, I am going to be supporting Pakistan. Okay, and I'm 1,000% sure some of the Indians, the second they heard this, being an Indian and supporting Pakistan, they will type out, sorry, I'm unsubscribing or unsubscribing. This guy is anti-Indian. He's sponsored by Pakistan, Qatar, the terrorists, whatever. Some others will say, I always knew you are a ABCD, whatever they have to say. And yeah, there will be some people who very unwillingly will want to hear what I have to say, which is very rare. However, I'll make this bold statement first that being an Indian, I support the Pakistanis for what they did at this particular incident. What is the incident I'm talking about? Is a man was arrested and beaten for raising the red flag in Lahore Stadium during the Champions Trophy 2025. I think it was held in Pakistan. Okay. So I'm supporting what the Pakistanis did. And I'm very sure the blood of some Indians will be boiling. So, what I suggest is watch the video. If you have the patience, others you can unsubscribe. Watch the video, and then tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay, let's start. All right. I got up in the morning, and as usual, when I was sitting down answering nature's call, I was scrolling through various social media, checking the emails, checking whatever. And then I just bumped into this post by Instagram. Nobody forwarded it to me. I just got it. So what it said here is, the title says, Man arrested and beaten for raising Indian flag in Lahore Stadium during Champions Trophy 2025. And it is a short reel or something, as you call it. And here what you can see is, there's a guy maybe raising a flag or something, and then two guys in a suit, they grab the flag, they grab this guy, and it's obvious that he's holding the Indian flag, and they, holding his black jacket, he had black glasses, black hat, they drag him out. Okay. So obviously, for, passionate Indians, your blood will boil. Okay, no doubt, no doubt, because you're passionate about your country, you're proud to be an Indian, you want to show the national flag. However, I have a very different point of view. Now, before I give that, I will just read out what is written here. The Instagram handle is India. Okay, it says, during the Champions Trophy 2025, a man was arrested in Lahore for raising the Indian flag inside the cricket stadium. The incident quickly garnered attention as videos of the act went viral on social media, sparking debates between Indian and Pakistani users. Authorities detained the individual for questioning, citing security concerns. While some praised his actions as a bold statement, others criticized it as breach of local regulations. The event has fueled discussions on nationalism in the sport and many calling for mutual respect between nations. Officials continue to investigate the incident as the controversy grows. Now, what is my stance? I watched the video. Okay. Now, I'll ask you a very simple thing, very simple. My dear Indians, a very simple question. Let's turn the tables. Okay? If in India, in a cricket match, someone were to take a Pakistani flag, what do you think is going to happen to him? Just a simple question. Would they say Pakistan ki jai and hug each other, like we have maybe outside in foreign countries where there are non-resident Indians and Pakistanis, and they shake hands, they show Indian flag, he's wearing a shirt, Pakistani flag, and they take a photograph, selfie together? Would that happen? Do you ever see, let's say, Narendra Modi Would you ever see him endorse Pakistan? For that matter, would a Pakistani prime minister endorse India? So we know by common sense, India and Pakistan, they have deep-rooted political, man-made hatred for each other. Okay. The only time I could say a little bit of love was shown when Prime Minister Imran Khan, they they shot down that guy with a big mustache, no? They shot him down. He was completely bloodied. But thankfully, the Imran Khan, with his common sense, didn't allow him to be killed or harmed, and saved him. And obviously, they had that video. They gave him that tea, and then they sent a female delegation, and they respectfully left him at the border. Okay, yeah, some people would say, yeah, others, India would nuclear bomb you, this thing, they would destroy you. No, it was common sense of Imran Khan. Yes, they are a weaker nation, they have a weaker military, they have a weaker economy, but he used common sense. He used common sense. I don't know if India would have done more or less the same. I doubt. 90% I doubt they wouldn't have done it. They would have kept the guy in prison for life. Okay. However, Pakistan being Pakistan, yes, it has debts, its economy is destroyed. I'm very aware of all this. It's a weak nation, weak military, weak everything. Okay. They use common sense. And at that moment, I felt good about humanity, that we can still look at each other as human beings and behave like one. Now, here's something I'm going to tell you, which I can challenge you only if you have traveled, lived abroad, you would understand this. I lived in Dubai, as you know, lived 35 plus years in Dubai. I'm going to make it very short, don't worry. It's not going to be a long story. And in Dubai, there are Pathans, Afghanis, Pakistanis, guys from Balochistan and all the stans. Okay, all these Pakistani, and they are Muslims. And there are Indians also, predominantly those days when I was a small boy from Kerala, very few North Indians. And I'll tell you this, more than Pakistanis who come to eat Indian food, they'll just drink the kadak chai. They love the kadak chai, okay? And they'll eat parota and something if there's no other place. More than Pakistanis coming to Indian restaurants to eat food, Indians in scores, they go to Pakistani outlets to have food. Karachi Darbar, then Sindh, Punjab, I don't know if it is Indian, but Karachi Darbar is very famous, and amazing food, the paya, the meat, the mutton, amazing food. And they have always treated Pakistanis, my experience, Pakistanis have treated Indians with respect. And Indians have been respectful to Pakistanis. The only time where they have actually blood has boiled over, where they shout and scream at each other without violence, physical violence, is during an Indian-Pakistani cricket match. That is the only time they don't like each other very much. Whereby when Pakistan loses, all Indian outlets, they offer free mithai. They give sweets. During the World Cup, this used to happen. And when India loses, all the Pakistani outlets give free mithai. That rivalry is always there and will always be there. But once that cricket match and all that competitive, deep ingrained, I don't know, hatred or competitive or sports, this thing is over, they come together, they eat together, they have no problems with each other. And in fact, I would go as so far as to say there is love between them as human beings. Okay? I personally, out of my 35 years in UAE, I've not seen, for the sake of, I'm Indian, I'm Pakistani, I've never seen a fight. I have seen a Pakistani take a chair and, the stool that you can flatten it, and he took it and smashed this Malayali guy on the face only. It is when I was a small boy and I went to buy shoes, $10 those days, poor shoes, street kind of a market. This Pakistani guy was not there in his shop. I went there, checked. This Malayali guy, who's his competitor, he said that nobody's here, nobody has the shoes. Just go from here. So because he gave the wrong information, like by the time that Pakistani came, he said, "You want the shoes?" I said, "But he told me nobody's here." He said, "Who told you?" When he told that guy, he went and took the stool, folded. He didn't talk. He didn't say "Kyun bola." He took it and swung at his face. A top he gave him, and he flew off his chair. Okay, so that was the only time I saw the violence. But otherwise, Pakistanis and Indians, they have lived. There's no hate. I see this hate only in when I meet Indians online who have never traveled abroad, who have never met Pakistanis, who have never interacted with them. Only there I see the hate. And here's a funny thing. Pakistanis they've hardly traveled to India. They have never met Indians. But out of the Pakistanis, especially who are in my groups, they have never been bad or rude to Indians. Not because I'm a Indian and not because, they'll get kicked out. I let them be as they are. They are very respectful. In fact, the Pakistanis who I have, Pakistani Muslims that I have in my groups, they are much more respectful to Indians and they are much more critical of Pakistani Muslims than the normal average Pakistani. In fact, there are some Pakistanis who are like hardcore, I love Pakistan and I love Islam and all that. But I've never seen them attack in India. I'm telling you facts. But for our Indians, especially the BJP, the Modi kind of supporters, oh my goodness, they have nothing but bad words, profanity, hatred, explicit, totally explicit. And there's not one good thing that they have to say about Pakistanis or about Islam. Okay. I don't know where the bitterness comes from. And yes, there is always talk about Pakistan sends terrorists to bomb India. Yes, I'm not denying that. Pakistanis have indifference with India. Pakistan talks shit about India. This is all politics. But I'm giving you on a human level. Now, this what happened at this stadium. I asked you a very simple question. I said that this guy, I don't know if he's Indian, but he raised the Indian flag and they took it. Now, here's what you're not considering. Number one is India-Pakistan is still having its tense moment, and this is a cricket match where things can go wild and hooligans can be there. Okay? There's no alcohol. So what is he doing? Being bold? No, he's not being bold. He's being stupid. He's instigating a problem. Okay? It's like if a Pakistani were to do it in an Indian stadium, what, is it bold? No, it is stupidity. You're surrounded by Indians. They can beat the daylights out of you. Same thing here. Luckily, the Pakistani crowd was very cool, calm, composed. And if you see, there were guys in suits who took him. Why? For his security. Someone could have killed him. For his security, they took him out. Because he's outnumbered. One is to maybe 10,000 people. We have seen football matches. We have seen other matches where two, British, this thing, when they drink, they hit each other. Canada, hockey, they beat each other. Same country, just two different teams. They actually literally want to physically harm each other. So don't you think that had these two security guys not dragged this guy out, some mad person would have done something. In fact, fortunately, nobody did anything. They all sat on their seats. Nobody troubled him. He was taken for violation for a very simple thing. India-Pakistan is still teetering around very sensitive issues, politics. And remember, if you are to criticize the Pakistanis, it's a very simple challenge to you. Indians would not allow this. In fact, Indians would harm the guy. They would beat up the guy. They might even kill him, beat him to death. They would have arrested him. They would have done all the same things. And being an Indian, I'm telling you, they would have done worse, much more worse. So what they did is follow the rules, ensure peace and calm, and they didn't want this man to be killed. They actually saved his ass. I don't call him brave. I call him a troublemaker. I call him an instigator. For me, he didn't do anything patriotic. He didn't do anything. There's no contribution to the economy. There was no glory to the homeless, the children, uh, nothing. This he did it for his own, to show my balls are big and for him to upload this on social media to get some clout, which is nothing. Tell me, did he contribute to India in any way? Oh, he made us proud. Yeah, you're superficial. You're a piece of shit. That is why when Indians do some shit somewhere, yeah, India, 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 India. And you're the very same guys who, if an Indian were to rape someone, you will say, what about Pakistan? They're also raping. You will never accept your flaws and your faults. He is an idiot. I have nothing but utter respect. And I've also commented there. I also said, my comment was, I'm an Indian and I support what the Pakistani organizers did was 100% correct. I challenge anyone to tell me if the roles had been reversed, the Indian Hindus would not have beaten this man to death for raising a Pakistani flag. Majority of the Indians, it's as if majority of the Indians are classy sportsmen. Their own country, if their own country's team loses, they don't even spare abusing, threatening, and literally, talking about the player's wife and their children. Tell me if what I'm saying is wrong. When the Indian team themselves, they lose. Our Indian fans, they talk sexually of the wife and the kids of these players. So Indians have zero say in this matter. Practice what you preach. And what I said is, good job, Pakistan. Do what you think is right for you, just as India will do what is right for them. So this is what I said. So anyway, I've given you my thoughts about this. And listen, in all fairness, um, even during UAE and Qatar, when they had the blockade, UAE joined forces with Saudi to block Qatar. They got a Qatari guy raise his flag in UAE. He got beaten to the pulp. Seriously, got beaten to the pulp, and the military was called in and he was escorted out. So, you need to use common sense and evaluate the situation, evaluate the climate, and ask yourself, what I'm doing, is it worth the risk? He's lucky that he didn't get killed, he didn't get harmed. And I admire the Pakistani authorities for taking quick action, common sense. If I was an organizer, I would say, this guy is raising this flag, it will cause ruckus. Please take him away. We need to organize this event peacefully, cool, calm, composed. As a leader, as an organizer, that is what you look at. And like I said, our Indians have double standards. They will talk shit about Pakistan. They will say, hey, he's bold enough. But if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't have said the same for a Pakistani guy. They've said he's a troublemaker. Why can't he respect India? Why can't he respect he's a guest here? Why can't he behave himself? That is what they would have said. And last but not the least, at least Pakistan held a competition with inviting Pakistanis here. I would like to see them reciprocate the same and ensure protection of Pakistani guests. If that happens, I'll be the first one to say, India, you're doing great. Until then, we'll get all these keyboard warriors and these extremists, Indians who will keep talking shit about Pakistan, keep talking shit of the religion, when actually the fact is, as human beings, they've done nothing wrong. It's just dirty, old, man-made politics. Anyway, this is what I have to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, good, bad, ugly. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys take care. This is me signing off.